Meeting of Nigeria Governors Forum expected to discuss the issue of a new national minimum wage for Nigerian workers failed to hold on Wednesday due to lack of quorum. Only 5 out of the 36 governors turned up for the meeting on Wednesday evening at the NGF Secretariat in Abuja. Those who came were the governors of Zamfara, Bauchi, Jigawa, Niger, and Adamawa states. Governors of Kaduna, Enugu, Nasarawa, and Katsina sent in their deputies. Wednesday's meeting was expected to consolidate on the position taken by the Federal Executive Council (FEC) during an extraordinary meeting which held on Tuesday at the Presidential Villa. Minister of Information and Culture Lai Mohammed told State House correspondent at the end of the meeting that he would not divulge the outcome of the meeting until after the meeting of the National Economic Council.
Convener Integration Summit Group Nigeria, Chris Ekiyo, joins us via Skype to discuss the recent development of the minimum wage. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Ekiyo.
Yeah, thank you. Good afternoon. Thank you. Good afternoon.
Yes, the minimum wage has again gone to a subcommittee at the federal government level for consideration. Now, in the light of current realities in 2019, will 30,000 naira even suffice?
Well, first, I'd like to talk about the issue of subcommittee. I think that the federal government is overflogging this issue about committees and subcommittees. And I'm very, very familiar with issues when they go to committee and subcommittee levels, they are left on the table, on the shelf. So government should progress it beyond committee to action. However, I am also very convinced, the 30,000 minimum wage is just a tip of the iceberg. I made a clear analysis. I said an average of 1,000 a day in a 30 days working month. Now, that means if a man with a wife and 3 children would have to live on 1,000 daily. From that, you have to pay electricity bill, you have to pay DSTV costs, you have to pay transportation, pay school fees, and clothe his family. And I stamped it by saying the underpayment of workers is the real bane of corruption because people will find ways and means to fill the gaps. So I think government should hesitate to quickly kickstart the 30,000 minimum wage and then provide social services alongside that minimum wage that will cover for housing, healthcare, and education so that we can really look at our country as a progressive country. Otherwise, this fight against corruption is just a wound dressing.
Are we paying key attention at this time to the position of the governors? The NGF couldn't hold yesterday. Of course, they're supposed to be part of the National Economic Committee, which is supposed to talk about this development today. But precisely, how much of implementation do you foresee when this particular bill is passed?
Yeah, it is often said that when wood fall on wood, you take the ones up first before you access the one down. Most governors are concerned about mega projects and impossible projects, monorails, big industries, important machines that are done just for ceremonies, flag of an industry that never produce or employ people. And I'm saying that government needs to look inwards and change the narrative. Every state in Nigeria has a capacity to be an industrial state because we have solid mineral or crude or arable agri-plants for farming. So I think that governors should not just wait for Abuja and wait to collect this oil money that everybody goes to collect, but to become more proactive by being more with a lot of ingenuity to provide IGR for their states. Lagos, for instance, is a working state. It's doing a lot about IGR. Akwa Ibom is already on that pedestal. They're opening up functional and small industries that can create wealth. And I think that all the 19 states in the north can do well in agribusiness. And we need to look inwards if we must solve this issue of minimum wage to create jobs and wealth for our states. But the major issue is that everybody is waiting for this crude oil to raise resources and then pay this money and go back to state and invest. And that's the real problem of job creation. So, and unless we deviate from that, yes, I think that the governors are right and they have issues with minimum wage, but that's not a reason why they shouldn't pay minimum wage.
Now, I'd like to follow up on my initial point about what's realistic. This is a follow-up. There's also the argument that the minimum wage, if increased to the recommended 65,000 naira initially, will trigger inflation and, bring workers back to where they were in the first place. Do you agree with this?
Despite push inflation, there's government means and ways to regulate such inflation. If you have more money chasing fewer goods, of course you're likely going to have inflation. But we have a situation already where there is no money chasing any goods. There's even no goods. So whether you increase salary, you don't increase salary, this push inflation is there. But I'm saying that 65 for me is on the high side as starters. I think government can migrate it from 30 to 45 to 50 so that you have a curve that is realistic. And then people are able to adjust in the elasticity line. If you jump from 18 to 65, definitely the average market woman will respond to that. So I think we should have it in a manner that will go through an elastic process. But there must be need to begin to look at wage increase for workers. And we cannot shy away from that. We cannot push it on anything. The country has the capacity, we have the resources. Even only on oil money, we do have the resources. It's just that when we take these resources, we want to do showmanship. The federal government is doing projects it doesn't need. Some states are owning airline they can't run. Some states are importing equipment they can't use. Some are having 3, 4, 5 universities in one state. For me, it's a madhouse.
It's all right. It's really been a long time coming from the going back and forth with the tripartite committee. It's currently transmitted to the FEC. It's expected to be with the NEC today. It's still going to pass through the National Council of State before deliberations at the floor of the National Assembly. We're hoping that all of this can be done before the January 23rd deadline given by Labour. Chris Ekiyo, convener, Integration Summit Group, thank you for sharing your thoughts with us on the news this hour.